Hello friends, this is Precious and welcome back to my channel. I noticed in the past few days that I got new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel and I will tell you and show you about my medical coding journey. For this video, we will talk about my Practicode. Why did I choose Practicode? How far along am I with Practicode, and let's do Practicode together. So why did I choose Practicode? Just a short recap. I passed my CPC exam last month, April 2nd, and then after that, I really didn't know what to do. So I reached out to my AMCI instructors. Shout out to AMCI. I reached out to them and asked them what is the best step to take to have my apprentice status removed, or to have to get a job as a new medical coder. So I got great advices from them, and then they are so nice to give me a lot of options. And then at the end, they said, "You will do it. You will do well, and it's up to you. What is really your goal, and the final decision is yours." Why did I choose Practicode? First, I chose Practicode because I don't want to take another certification. It's good that you have another certification on top of your CPC, but for me, taking another certification, studying right after passing the CPC exam is just too much pressure. I don't want to deal with timelines yet. I don't want to pressure myself and into studying and passing the exam again. I don't want to be pressured right away. And so I decided to not do a not get another certification, though it is a very good chance and it is a very good advantage for you if you have two certifications when you apply for a job as a new medical coder. But I opted to not do it just because I want to take a break. I mean, passing the CPC exam and then taking another certification exam and passing it, I think that's too much pressure. That's so much pressure on me. So I decided not to take another certification and then just proceed to Practicode. Number two, Practicode is a program through AAPC. It's an internship program through AAPC. If you don't know, Practicode is helping you practice coding real life situations or real life clinical documentation. So in Practicode, you will be coding 600 cases, and there will be 3 modules. They have 200 cases each, redacted clinical documentations each, and then after finishing a module, you will take assessment, and then in that assessment, you have to code 20 cases in 3 hours, within 3 hours. So that is Practicode. And also Practicode will help you remove your apprentice status. My target is to have my apprentice status removed as quickly as possible, as soon as possible, because if you are a CPC-A looking for a job, then you are very limited. So, and also having Practicode in your resume will be will be an experience that is an edge if you are going to apply for a job. And lastly, why did I choose Practicode? Because it's self-paced. It's not too much pressure whenever I want, and at the same time I can do it while searching for a job. So I chose Practicode because it is the most convenient way to go to have my apprentice status removed and to have an edge when applying for the job, because Practicode will be considered as an experience in your resume. So how far along am I with my Practicode? I started my Practicode in the middle of April last month, and thankfully I went fast enough that right now I only have 10 cases left. I finished my Module 1, the Module 1 assessment. I finished Module 2 and the Module 2 assessment. I am now in Module 3 and I have finished 190 cases. So I only have 10 cases left to code. And you may ask, why did I go fast? how did I do it quickly? Well, I am doing it full time. I don't have a job yet. I am doing it full time. So sometimes I can do, my goal really a day is to code 30 cases. And well, life happens and sometimes you just don't want to code. But for me, I'm doing it full time because I have nothing to do. So I'm doing Practicode every day. And sometimes my highest goal is 30 cases a day. And sometimes I go 5 when I don't feel well, or when I just want to chill, I go 10 or something like that. It really depends on you. But my goal every day is to try to do 30 cases. So I am very thankful that I did Practicode, and I am very close to have my ACE apprentice status removed because I only have 10 cases to code and I only have one assessment left. So now let's go and do Practicode together. I will be sharing my screen with you. So let's go log in to my AAPC account. So here, this is my profile. So on the top right corner, you have the My AAPC. Under that, you have Student. Under Student, you have an overview. Click on that, open that one, and then it will lead you here. So you have the CPC-A Practicum Complete. You click on that, and then you can see here my grades. For assessments, you have to have 70% to pass the assessment, so or else you have to retake it. So I only have one assessment left, which is the assessment 3. And let's go log in. We have my courses. So under my courses, now we are going to do the Practicode CPC-A Practicum A to B. Click on that. And then it will lead you here. You will click course content, and we have the CPC-A Practicum. You have to click on that. You have to input your username and your last name. So let's do that. So let's log in. So you can see here, hello, Precious. Which test do you wish to take? So CPC-A Module 1 Practicum and Module 2 Practicum are already in red because I have completed them. So I only have CPC-A Practicum Module 3. So I have to click on that. So you can see here that I only have 10 remaining questions, and that's what we're going to do together today. So, but before that, I will tell you another thing that helped me move quickly with Practicode. On the top right corner, you have my AAPC. I actually subscribed to Codify. Codify is actually very helpful in my Practicode because it makes coding easier. I still have my 2022 versions of my books, but using Codify in my Practicode is really helpful. It makes me go quickly. I don't have to flip through my books. You have to have 3 books on your desk, right? I'm still flipping on my books sometimes, but most of the time, I am just using Codify and Google. Actually, in Practicode, they say in the video it said that you can use whatever you want to to solve these cases, to solve these questions. So I'm using Codify, Google, and sometimes my books. Codify is really the game changer in my Practicode because it really helped me go through quickly with Practicode. This one. So, and on the left side, I have my Practicode, and on the right side, I have my Codify. So I have like 2 tabs or 3 tabs of Codify open just to confirm my codes. So here we go. Let's resume test. So you can see here on the top, I have one question. I made it to question 190 yesterday, and I only have 10 questions unanswered. Yesterday, my last question was 190, and I was able to get a perfect score on that. I was also surprised because I maybe out of 10 questions, I get 2 perfect scores or 3 perfect scores. Maybe the highest is 3 perfect scores. I have For example, I'm looking for sedation, conscious sedation. So conscious sedation CPT code. So it will show me 99151 to 99157. So I will write on, and here on my codify, I will write 99151, and it will show me the description. And then I will be able to read that without flipping through my book. So really, codify is helpful. Let's practicode together. But I'm sorry, but I will not be able to show you the scenario because I don't think it's right for me to do that, to show you that. So you just have to code along with me and see what it looks like to code in Practicode. So here it's kind of a long scenario, and I believe this requires an EM code, because on the top it says office and established patient. Or I input my codes in here. I usually write them down first. So let's code together. I'm ready to input my codes. So my E&M code, I believe, is 99214. I'm not sure if this is right, but that's why I'm doing Practicode, because I am learning from it, and I am still learning. I'm not an expert, everyone. If you're watching, I am not an expert on this. So my diagnosis codes are E78.5, I34.0, R42, Z86.79. Let's check. What else? So don't quote me on this one. I am still a student learning. I'm still learning on, coding. And that's why Practicode is helpful. So I am ready to submit my answer. So let's submit it. See, this is not perfect. I am not perfect. Out of 8 questions, I got 3. How did that happen? As you can see, last time, my last question yesterday, I got 10 out of 10. And here, my first question for today, I got 3 out of 8. So again, I am not perfect, and this is still a learning process. So I got 3 out of 8. Why? And I'm reading the rationale, and I'm not allowed to read that to you or to show that to you. So instead of instead of using 99214, it's actually 99213 because the MDM is low. Because, okay. And I have to report 93351. My diagnosis codes are actually all correct, but it's out of order. They're not in order, so they're marked wrong. Now I finished 200 questions of module 3. Now the end test down here is showing up. It means that I have answered all 200 cases or all 200 questions. So I will click end test. That means I am done. So, but before that, let's go back to my summary. Let's go back to the last 10 questions that I have coded. So again, let's go back to my last case that I coded yesterday. So for 190 questions, I was very glad that I was able to get 10 out of 10. So that was a perfect score. But I started today, question number 1. My first question for today is question 191. And it is not surprising to me that I got 3 out of 8 because that's normal. I am still learning and I have to review this for me to be able to pass my assessment. So that's not surprising that I don't get half of the score, but I will be able to learn why I didn't get it because I have this rationale that I have to read and what is the correct code or what are the correct procedural codes or what are the correct diagnosis codes. So that is my first question for today. I got 3 out of 8. That's not bad. Next question for today. Let's see my score. I got 6 out of 16. That's not even half. All of my procedural codes are wrong. I mean, not wrong, but some of them are incorrect or are not in correct orders. And the same with my diagnosis codes. So I have to really work on my sequence or sequencing. Next, my third question for today. I got 4 out of 13. And that's not surprising to me because I am learning and I have to put the correct modifier. I have to add, I have to be careful of how about my CPT codes as well and have to read I have to read forensically to be able to get the correct codes. Again, it's okay because I am learning and I have the rationale and I will be able to read them and I will be able to study and take my assessment. Now let's go to my fourth question. For my fourth question, I got 6 out of 11. See, I got my modifiers correct. I got one of my CPT code correct, but the others are wrong as well as my diagnosis codes. So now let's go to question number 5. Question number 5, I was able to get a perfect score, 4 out of 4. My procedural code, my modifier, and my diagnosis code are all correct. So I got perfect score on that. And again, in doing my practicode, out of 10 questions, I really say I can get 1 out of 10. I can get 1 perfect score out of 10 questions. I can get 2, or maybe the highest is 3. Or sometimes, and most of the time, I get close to the half score or half of the score or a little bit over half of the score. But again, I'm not perfect and I'm still learning, doing, coding and reading forensically on this scenarios and these cases. So I started for my last 10 questions, I practiced the fourth one. I did not get it all right. I didn't get them right, but on my 5th question, I got a perfect score on that. So that's one thing for me to celebrate, that I was able to understand that the scenario and put the right codes correctly and in correct sequence or whatever. So my 6th question, let's see. I was able to get half of the score. My diagnosis code is correct, but my CPT code is wrong. So I got half of the score, which is 2 out of 4. 7th question for the day. Let's see. I got 4 out of 5. So I lacked one. I lacked a modifier on this one. So I was able to get 4 out of 5. But my diagnosis codes are all correct. And my 8th question for today, I get 3 out of 4. So my procedural code, my modifier, they're all correct, but my diagnosis code is wrong. So yeah, it's a learning process. So I got 3 out of 4 on that. And then my 9th question of the day, I got perfect, 7 out of 7. All of my diagnosis codes are correct, and my CPT code and my modifiers are also correct. So I got 7 out of 7. So I think for this 10 questions today, I got 2 perfect scores, and the other close to perfect score, and the other is too far from getting the perfect score. And that's normal. And I got the last question for the day is the 200 question 200. Let's see the rationale. I got 5 out of 6. So my first CPT code was wrong. I should be using a HCPCS code on that instead of a CPT code. So I was wrong on that. But my CPT code was correct, and my other diagnosis codes are correct. So I got 5 out of 6. So again, in Practicode, it's a learning process. You will learn and learn and learn from your own mistakes. So again, I said that for 10 questions every day, I can get 2 questions perfectly. I can get close to perfect score. I can get too far from the perfect score. I can get half of the score. And it is very nice for me to learn and not stop learning, because there is rationale at the end that will tell you where did you get wrong and what is the correct code. And that's why I love Practicode. It helped me a lot. And I would say this is my last case, and I'm gonna click this blue button under below, which is the end test. Ta-da! Are you sure to want to end test, Precious? Yes. Okay. So take me home. So let's do that again. Let's sign in again. So here, all of my modules are all now red. It means I have done all of them, and I'm just waiting for module 3 assessment to pop up so that I can take it, but I will not take it yet because I'm going to study and read the rationale and be ready to get 70% of the score or higher so that I will be able to pass it. And right after that, I will be able to send our review to the Practicode team so that, or to the AAPC team, to have my apprentice status removed if I will pass my last assessment. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And for our next video, I will share with you how I landed my first medical coding job as a CPC-A. Bye!